How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. I hope you are having a wonderful day. It's another beautiful day down here in the Florida Keys. I just got a pretty wild phone call this morning. Good friend of mine just got this brand new boat. This thing is absolutely incredible. And they put together a group. They called me this morning and asked if I wanted to do a Bahamas run, short notice Bahamas run. That was this morning at about 8:30. It is 2 o'clock. We've been trying to scramble together and get everything loaded and trying to piece together a last minute trip. So I'm going to try and film something. I don't get to do these very often. I'm working on my spontaneity and trying to be more fun, trying to be more of a yes man. I've got a lot of cool friends that do a lot of cool things, and I tend to stay pretty busy, but sometimes I've got to say yes and enjoy myself. He just got this new beautiful boat. This thing is unbelievable. So we're going to apparently run it to the Bahamas and break it in. I don't really know how this video is going to go. The plan is we're going to run up to Key Largo this evening, spend the night, and then shoot across to the Bahamas. Our final destination from where we are right now in Key West, our final destination is about a 310-mile trip. So we've got some ground to cover, but again, I don't know how this video is going to unfold. It's a fun group of guys, so I'm going to bring the cameras along. And quite honestly, the fact that I get to do some stuff like this, I like to film it for my personal use. I know when I'm in my late 70s and my shoulders and knees are blown out and I can't free dive anymore, I'm going to look back and watch these in 4K HD and I'm going to be able to relive them. So that's what I'm going to do. Enough talking. I'm getting loaded. These guys are going to be here shortly, supposedly. Typically a Bahamas trip takes a couple days of prep. You go for a long time. We're only going for like 2.5 days. So it'll be a quick one, but just trying to get everything in order. And I'm looking forward to it. Very excited. Man, we got some stuff. We're on our way. We're on our way. We got Kevin at the helm, Mr. Trent, Mr. Gavin, the firefighter entertainment.
I'm gonna get caught at work now. I called out sick.
Well, you shouldn't have said that. They won't know when this was. We're stopping in Key Largo for the evening. Found a place that was still open. Topped off with fuel, that way we don't got to do it tomorrow. But we're gonna stay here for the night. Good morning. Heading out. We are in the Bahamas. Just first stop, we got to get checked in, clear customs, all that jazz. And we're going to head to our final destination. We still got over 100 miles of running to do. Already been quite the trip so far. The weather's picking up a little bit, but hopefully it'll mellow out. But we are getting checked in, and then we're off to our final destination. Hopefully we'll do some diving this afternoon. Soon enough. We are there, man. Just over 300 miles of running. That was quite the trip. But we're here. It's a little greener than we were hoping, but you can see the bottom plenty. We've never been here. This is a new prospected area. So right now what we're gonna do is try and locate some spots. We've got some stuff that we have a general idea from looking at the charts of where we want to work, but we're here. The hard part's done, long ride. Now it's time for some fun. We're gonna put our dive gear together. Hopefully locate something to dive, and I'll see you in the water. Welcome back underwater, everybody. As always, thanks so much for taking the time to tune in. Got a very action-packed episode for you today. Did some spearfishing, some lobstering, deep dropping, some beautiful sights to see. Got my personal best black grouper on pole spear. I haven't done it very often, but it was a nice one. Some of the guys shot some amazing fish. It was just one of those trips that you hope for. It was really, really an amazing time. So again, I said it a bunch in this video, but we had no spots coming over here. This is a new area that we haven't dove before. We just were prospecting it and looking at it on charts. So we're kind of hopping around just trying to find bottom. This is our very first spot. You can see there's tons of life, some little crunchy rocks on the bottom, what I would call like crunchy little rocks and heads and coral. If you know me, you know that I pretty much get up in every single rock that I see. You never know what's going to be inside there. Fish, lobster, it's going to be all kinds of stuff. You'd be amazed at the size of fish, or how big of a fish can fit into a small rock. No shortage of barracuda there, as you can see. This was pretty wild. This is the second rock I stuck my head in. There was a decently sized schoolmaster in there. Not my favorite snapper, and I pan to the right, and I do a double take there, and you see kind of an interesting looking, almost a rock, and it's actually what we call a slipper lobster or a shovel nose. I almost missed it there, and I just couldn't believe it. I've caught 4 of these in my entire life, and the fact that my second dive, I came across one. Thought that was pretty wild.
You ever see one of those?
Not in person. What is it called again?
Very rare. Slipper lobster. Shovel nose, yeah. I needed to clear my mask anyways. That's not one you see every day.
No, that's cool. Big one too.
Dude, there is a ton of life there. It makes you wonder if there's not something bigger around. Like dozens and dozens of triggers, probably 50 barracuda, yellowtail, cereal mackerels. There's those four-side jacks.
By far the biggest one I've ever caught.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Old slipper lobster. Slipper, shovel nose.
You didn't see him from the top. You just
No, I went down there and I was looking in the cave, and he just, I like double took because my mask was kind of fogging up, and I was like, that looks weird.
That's kind of crazy. He was right at the opening of.
He was out. He not went out in the open, but he was in a tunnel. Like that was very clear. Normally they're way up in caves.
Up in there, yeah. Have you ever eaten one of those?
They're delicious.
Every
yeah.
I'm gonna start putting.
I've caught like 4 in my life ever.
Really?
This is number 5.
Put
Pretty
that
neat.
bitch on the grill.
Right when we hopped in here, there was a nice button on the bottom, and Trent was on it, dropped down, lined up, and wham. And if you're not familiar, you can only pole spear in the Bahamas. There's no spear guns. You cannot spearfish on tanks either. So it's only free dive, only pole spear, which I enjoy. I love the challenge. I think it's awesome.
That was the nicest button I've ever seen.
And I think it's one of the reasons the Bahamas fish population is more healthy than anywhere else. Harvesting on a pole spear is a lot more challenging. doing my thing, just cruising around, nothing out of the ordinary, and I come up behind this rock and I look off to the distance and I see a really healthy Cubera snapper. Now, me and Kevin, one of the guys on the boat, have a history with these. Me and Kevin have been buddies for probably 6 or 7 years now. I'm not sure exactly how long, but for whatever reason, anytime we've dove together, we cannot secure a Cubera snapper, and I don't know why. I've shot plenty, Kevin has shot a few, but for whatever reason, when we're together, we've never been able to land one.
Gavin! Gavin! Over here! I got your Cubera! Kevin, there's a big Cubera in this rock.
It's honestly kind of to the point where it's an inside joke. Gear malfunction, bad luck, whatever it may be, we've just never been, when we've been together diving, we've never been able to put a Cubera snapper on the boat. So I really wanted him to shoot this one, and that way I can film it third person. I thought it'd be pretty cool. And what's interesting is if you pay attention at the front of this rock where Kevin drops, you'll see a bunch of shells. This must have been this Cubera snapper's home because there was a bunch of crunched up shells from like spider crab and stuff where it had been eating them. But Kevin drops down, real mellow, already loaded, lines up and lets it go. And this thing goes nuts. And at first I couldn't tell how good the shot was because I was a little far away, and you'll see me drop down here and it's moving so fast. It was really hard to tell. It looked like it had set behind the gill plate, which it's not going anywhere if it toggles behind the gill plate. And I'm questioning whether to shoot it again or not, and just had a feeling it looked like a really good shot, so I decided not to.
It looks like a good shot.
And I think we're only in about, I don't know, 40 feet of water or so, but I don't care who you are. You shoot a fish like that, your adrenaline gets pumping. It's really hard to calm down and get ready for the next dive. But we tag teamed this one. You can see Trent's up top holding the float line, keeping it taut. That way the fish can't get any more wrapped in the hole. Kevin drops down, gets his hands on it, and pulls it out. What a cool fish.
Kevo!
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, I've owed you one of those for a long time. That was sick.
That's your personal best right there, huh, bud? That's a good one.
Oh, Kevin, that was awesome.
Well, thanks for pointing it out.
Dude, are you kidding me? Of all the years we've been diving together, how many Cuberas have eluded us? I was like, this is the one. Because he came in and checked me out and then swam over, and I saw a pile of spider crab shells. I was like, this is this dude's lair.
That's where he lives.
Woo.
30 pounds? 25?
A nice one. Yeah, look at this.
Hold him up.
That's so cool, dude. That was awesome.
On to the next. We just kept popping in and out, kind of hot dropping on spots that looked good on the depth sounder, and I poke my head in here and I see some big old lobster legs. And in the Bahamas, you can actually spear lobster. and it's completely legal. You're allowed to do it. I have nothing against it, but I really enjoy catching the bigger lobster by hand or with tools instead of spearing them, and it's really fun at a little bit deeper water.
Trent, will you throw me a snare? There's a pretty decent lobster in this one, but one's like average, and then the other one's big.
Down here in the Keys, most of the lobstering we do it's pretty shallow, 10, 15 feet of water or so. And you can go catch them on the reef sometimes, but they're never this big. So it's always a treat to be able to catch these using tools or by hand in a little bit deeper water, especially the big ones. I'm just checking out the other side of the rock, see if there was anything that I was missing. I come around here, you'll see the size of the legs on this thing. It came out pretty easy, nice open head there. So it was easy to get the snare around it. And it's funny, the big ones, when you get a hold of them, they pretty much hug you back. This one, it's hard to tell because of the camera, but it grabbed a hold of my chest and kind of wrapped its arms around me, which is always a strange feeling. Right here, I'm trying to pull it off of my rash guard.
I saw that lobster attacking you.
Like bear hugged me. Woo! Slam down.
And just to give you an idea, it's hard to tell on video. The smaller of these two is probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 pounds. The big one may have been 6 or 7 or so. Really healthy lobster. We don't see a lot of those in the Keys.
See a button come behind you?
Yeah.
5 feet from
That's the small one. He's actually bigger than I thought he was. Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was. I was like, oh, he's kind of small compared to the first one. And I went down there and grabbed him. I was like, dude, these are big ones. He literally hugged me back. He's like, where are you going? Wow. How cool. Giants. I love catching them by hand. I know you can spear them here, but it's so fun to catch them like that. Some jumbos. Oh.
Here's Trent working on one with the old school tickle stick and net. Another big one. I grew up in Port Canaveral where most of our lobster are big, you just don't see as many. These things were all over the place. Probably obviously because we're in such a remote area, but never gets old for me. We are plugging along. Got a few fish. I actually haven't shot anything, but I'm having an awesome time. I've been catching these big lobster. We don't get a lot of big lobster like this in the Keys. These things are giants. But we're plugging along. Got a few muttons, nice Cubera. I can't remember if I said it, but we have no spots out here. Just kind of been prospecting on charts and whatnot. But definitely seeing some fish. Haven't seen many grouper. But just kind of plugging along, enjoying it. Have not seen a boat all day. Love it. This was really neat. I wouldn't call it a blue hole. I don't know. I think a blue hole is much deeper. I don't know what classifies it. But it was just a hole in the middle of the reef where it just dropped out. It went from like 25 feet down to probably 45 or 50. All kinds of life on it. The Bahamas are known for blue holes. They have these holes that will go really deep. They do free dive competitions in them.
A world record horse-eye jack.
All kinds of life. There was all kinds of bait and horse-eye jacks. There was some yellow jacks swimming around, chubs, mangroves, tons of schoolmaster. And the camera doesn't really pick it up, but there were all kinds of lobster on this wall because the camera's a little zoomed out wide angle. But here's one really big one in this cave. I probably should have grabbed it. Zoom in a little bit. You can see it just briefly there. But it was really neat. And it was, the hole was probably, I don't know, maybe 100 yards across, like diameter.
It's all you can eat lobster right there. There's lobster everywhere. The whole wall is just lobster. Yeah, I saw like 5 coming up. There's one giant one at the bottom.
I started checking in some of the caves and the holes, and I poked my head in this one, and I saw some antenna, and I got to thinking maybe it's a Spanish lobster, and it was probably the biggest Spanish lobster I've ever seen. But before I could get my hands on it, it shot back in the hole, and I couldn't get to it. We're just about to hop out, and the school yellowjack comes right up to me. And you know I love my yellowjack, so I figured why not. Kevin actually had a couple of AP come in, and he got a shot on one, but there was a gear malfunction. I won't name any names, Gavin. But the slip tip wasn't hooked up on the pole spear right, and he shot it. Had a float line and everything hooked up, and the fish just swam off with the slip tip, unfortunately. That was a real bummer. You don't get a lot of opportunities for African pompano on pole spear. But it does happen. I've been there. We're getting towards the end of the day. It's probably 4 o'clock. We've already hit probably, I don't know, 15 spots, 16 spots, maybe more than that. And we were running a few miles in between each one, and as we went, the water started to get a little cleaner. You can see here it's a lot more blue. Tons of life, just beautiful. I could swim around and just snorkel this for days. Never gets old. All kinds of yellowjacks swimming around. There was actually a big school of permit the camera didn't really pick up. We were working our way around this little hard bottom piece and came across 2 rocks that were absolutely stacked with lobster. A lot of medium-sized ones, but there were some really big ones mixed in. Just loaded. There's Kevin barehanded one. I figured I'd catch one by hand for all my left coasters that give me grief for using tools. big old tail in there. You can see a couple of them. I'm trying to just wiggle my finger back behind it to get it to walk out, and it shot back. So what I do is walk my fingers in past the antenna, get my hands around the knuckle, or both knuckles, and just slowly work them out. And I try to do it delicately, so you don't break all the legs of the antenna off. They're a lot better for pictures that way. I know that sounds silly, but I like to remember these things. I was able to work it out. This rock was pretty much like a tabletop. It was hollow for the most part. They were just all throughout it, just packed.
There's one more in that rock, a little smaller, but about that size. Wiggin'.
The boys are hitting one more spot. It is 5:30 in the afternoon. We're all getting a little tired, slowing down a bit, so we're gonna do one more spot. Got a nice island here, uninhabited remote island that we're gonna shack up against for the night and get on the leeward side and anchor up and have some dinner. It's a beautiful day. Again, we had no spots coming over here, just scouting and looking around. Got some really nice mutton, lobster, yellowjack. Kevin actually lost an African pompano due to a gear malfunction. Really nice Cubera. Just a spectacular day. What more could you ask for? But yeah, we're gonna get moored up here shortly and anchor up for the night and have some dinner. Looks like a good place for happy hour.
I'll go swim out here.
We're in like, how deep are we? Like less than 10 feet? 5.4 feet.
Less than 10 feet. Look at these jokers.
We came in for happy hour. Mr. Gavins over here. Does Gavin know how to catch a lobster? Apparently. Oh! Hold that thing up! Woo!
Looks like a softie.
He does look soft, doesn't he?
No, he's hard. Yeah. I can stand here, buddy.
Dinner, baby! Wow.
Throw me that net and tickle stick.
You found
another one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Two,
I bet there's some big ones.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We can get one more. I slaved over this. It's like you guys don't even like it.
I have about 5 of them.
You know me. I don't eat that fish.
Why? You're cooking some dinner. It's time for bed. I'll see you mañana. Good morning. It's a little windier today than we were hoping for, so we're gonna start working home. Man, I don't know what today's gonna entail. We're gonna see. We're gonna go with the flow. The wind picked up, it's blowing probably 25 all night. We may try to do some deep dropping here. Getting these reels rigged up. May do some diving. Not sure. Got rained on a couple times last night, but it wasn't too bad. I've slept in worse places, I'll tell you that much. All right. We're gonna start this morning off with a little bit of deep dropping. Got some squid, big 15-0 circle hooks, a light 6-pound lead. Hopefully you can hear me, it's kind of windy. I'm excited. You know I love deep dropping. Never done it over here.
Over 100 feet away. So.
Perfect. Let her rip.
Back in the wind.
We're in over 1,000 feet of water. Bottom?
190 feet away from the
That was a bite? Definitely a bite. Definitely a fish. I don't know how big it is. I'm not familiar with this rod. I'd let it back down. There's 3 hooks. It's a long trip. Back it up just a little bit, Gavin.
Here it is.
There's so much line out, it's hard to tell. It's wild. Over 1,000 feet. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Dude, I don't know what it is. It's really light colored. What on earth did you catch? No. Oh, it's a winchman. Or no, what is that?
Your job to know what that's in there.
I don't catch these where I'm from. What is that? Some type of snapper. Wow. That's pretty wild.
Fatty.
That is wild. Out she goes.
Broken handle.
I mean, I don't mess around, guys.
Yeah, show off.
You say catch fish, I say how many. Smashed them. The colors, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's got like iridescent green and blue across the back. Very cool, beautiful fish. I just realized they always say no light, no bite. And I just got a bunch of fish with no light, 1,000 feet. It's pretty crazy.
Yellow eye. Different species?
Yep. I love them. So cool looking. We're gonna switch it up and go diving. Look at that water. 65 feet. Don't tell me what to do. And as you can see, the water was unbelievable. It's probably 65 feet here. Horizontally, you could see, I don't know, 150 feet. Some of the best viz I've ever seen. I've seen really good viz in the Keys, but it's not normally this good. This was just unbelievable. Like a pool, literally, probably cleaner than a pool, just like air. There's quite a bit of current, so I don't know if I'd shoot anything big you can't get out. So right away, I noticed a couple groupers swimming around, and it's hard to judge the size when the water's this clean. You'll see I zoom in a little bit. If you pay close attention, you'll see one there on the bottom going over the sand. The problem was there was a really tough current here. It was probably about 1.5 knots, maybe a knot-ish. Enough that if you had to swim into the current, it would just kill your breath hold. So I tried to drop before I got too past this fish, and I realized it's up current. I'm probably not going to get to it. Still was going to try, so I'm wiggling my fingers there at it. You can see it. There's a big parrotfish next to it too. And luckily, my buddy Gavin is already on it. He was up current of me, and he had dropped, and I didn't see him. And I look up, and I see his pole spear coming, and I realize, okay, this is going to work, because he's kind of perpendicular to it. And this fish stays pretty mellow. Gavin drops in, leans into it, and lines up, and wham. And hits it. Luckily, the fish didn't rock up. You can see he's got a belt reel. He's using tension to keep it off and out of the bottom. That was a really cool clip. Great dive. And as he comes up, we've dove together so long, as he comes up, I know he's going to be winded at the surface, so I give him a hand just to keep it off the bottom just for a sec. Let him get his snorkel set and then take over and bring in his fish. Buddy diving is crucial in this type of scenario. You got to work together. You got to know what needs to be done. Keep an eye on each other.
Way bigger than I thought.
And again, like I said, it's really hard to judge the size of fish when it's this clean. Initially, I thought this was, I don't know, 10, 12 pound grouper, maybe 15. I think it was 23 or 24 gutted, something like that.
Bro!
He's way bigger than I thought. I thought he was going to be like 10 pounds.
Good for you, man. That was a killer dive.
And I missed the shot on this one. This was Kevin. Got a bruiser hogfish. An absolute monster.
Nice!
And we were just about to hop out of the water, and I saw something that looked odd on the bottom.
Is it a flounder?
And I don't know what it was. It was so clear, the shape just caught me just right, and I was like, that doesn't look like a rock. And I was like, there's no way that's a flounder, because I've never seen a flounder diving in the Key. Actually, I take that back. I've seen one. It was like 4 or 5 inches. And I was like, there's no way that's a flounder. And I'm swimming down, I'm getting closer. I'm like, no way, this is a flounder. I don't know what kind of flounder this is. You can see I zoom in a little bit. It was probably only 10, 11 inches. I wasn't going to shoot it. There'd be not much meat on it, but it was pretty neat. It had little, what looked like blue spots. A couple blue spots, some brown and white spots. Just thought that was pretty crazy. I don't see a lot of flounder diving.
Did you spot that from the surface? Nice. That's awesome, dude. Kevin. Brother. Look at that thing.
So we set back up on another drift, swap drivers. I'm getting ready, and it's hard to see, but there is a fish that charged me, came up mid-water column. I'll zoom in just a little bit. And I realized it's a black grouper. It just came flying up at me and got about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet away and kind of turned and mellowed out. You can see. And again, hard to judge the size when the water's this clear. I'm not used to it. And I was like, man, that looked like a decent grouper. I don't know, 20, 22 pounds or so, maybe 25. And I drop down. I'm going to try and engage it because I'm up current of it at this point. So you want to drop down, let the current work with you. There's another smaller one there. And just let the current take me. Wasn't really having it. Just kind of, went out in a way. And I didn't want to kick too hard towards it because I figured maybe it'll rock up. Maybe it'll come back around. You can see it kind of bolted there.
Big old black. There's a big old black.
Kept drifting another, I don't know, 200, 300 feet or so. And I ran into the same fish. It was just out in the open, sitting on the bottom. So I do the same thing. I'm going to try and lean into it with the current. Get down before I'm going to get to it. It's just kind of sitting there, and I get loaded up, and it turns and goes again. And the only advantage to this clean, super clean water is you can follow them and hope that they rock up. If they don't rock up, it makes it very difficult. And what I mean by rock up is swim into a ledge or swim into something where I know where they're going to be. It's easier to get a shot on them. They feel safe in there. And this one did the same thing I did the first time, just kind of kept going. And I'm still watching it, and it goes into a rock. And that's a good thing.
Breathe up, Kevin. You got a float line. He just went in that hole.
So we're floating with the current coming up on this rock, and you heard me holler at Kevin. He had a fresh set of lungs. I had just done a drop. And I really wasn't worried about shooting the fish. I just wanted the boat to get the fish. So I told Kevin, get ready. We're coming up on that rock, so we're not having to fight the current. So he drops with a fresh set of lungs. I'm trying to gather myself as quickly as I can, just in case he needs a hand. We really don't want to get this fish rocked up and stuck when there's this much current. So I did a quicker than normal breathe up. Trent is on the surface spotting us. And Kevin comes down, lines up, and he couldn't see it. It was a really tight cave. It was really dark. He didn't have a light out. So he bails. And I come in a little closer, and I feel decent, but I had pushed it a little bit because I breathed up pretty fast, and I peek my head in here and I can see the tail, but not enough of the tail to shoot. And realistically, a fish that size with a pole spear, I don't want to shoot in the tail. So I come around the corner and I can see his face. And I line up. Thought I had a good shot. Let it go. I think I was a little too close. And you'll see even just after I pushed forward to try and get it to go through. And I started to pull just a second and it popped right out. Slip tip came out. You can see the big cloud of dust. I definitely hit the fish. Just not sure. At this point, I couldn't tell. Maybe I hit it thin or maybe I hit it in the bone. I just knew that. I was pretty bummed and it popped out.
I don't know what the heck happened. I feel like I hit him right in the side of the head. Gavin! Come mark this rock!
So this is where it gets tricky. We saw the fish go back in the hole, but there's enough current that if you don't kick, you'll just float away. So we are kicking constantly, trying to, calm ourselves down, catch our breath, and get a good breathe up. But that's very difficult while you're constantly kicking. Typically, when you're getting a good breath, you're going to sit completely still and just float. But we knew this fish was still in there. I had hit it. It was injured, and I didn't want to leave it. If you look closely, it's really hard to see. He starts to back out. The fish comes out of the hole. Just briefly.
He's bleeding real bad. I must have hit him low in the heart.
So sure enough, look down, the fish comes out, which is not what you want because now it's going to take off somewhere. It might not hole up, and you're going to have to chase it. And it's going down current, which is a good thing. Makes it a little easier to follow. Hopefully it doesn't go deeper, and it cuts a U-turn and swims straight into the current. So this is where all that cardio training comes into play. And I can see where I hit it. I hit it on the side of the head. I saw a lot of blood, so I thought I hit it maybe low and it was going to bleed out, which would have been a better case scenario.
Go in the hole, go in the hole.
But I actually hit it higher than I thought. I hit it on the side of one of the eyes. Not the shot you want. And being in that location, I probably hit bone and I couldn't get it to go all the way through. The slip tip didn't toggle. So now this fish is 120, 150 feet ahead of me, up current. And I just kicked it into gear and decided I was not going to let it get away from me. I kicked for probably 2-3 minutes. I skipped a couple minutes there because it was just me swimming, but doing my best to regain myself. The fish actually stopped. It's sitting by this ledge, so I'm hoping it's going to go on this ledge. Now I'm winded. I just kicked, 100 yards into a not current, trying to catch my breath. I know it's a big fish. It's been injured, so you got all your emotions going. Your heart rate's elevated. Just doing my very best to take a deep breath, close my eyes, and relax. Easier said than done. Surprisingly enough, the fish actually laid there out in the open on the bottom, and I could see that I hit its eye, so I'm trying to get on the side where I hit the eye, and maybe I can drop. Hopefully it won't turn. Maybe I can get a shot on it out in the open. It was a long shot, but it was better than dropping straight down on it. You can see it's just laying there on the bottom top center of the screen, and I get close enough and it bolts, unfortunately. And now I realize this is a bigger fish because I can see the tail. I'm close to it, but I like this because this is a really small, narrow cave. It doesn't look very deep. So I come around the corner, ready to fire, load it up. Should have had my flashlight out, but all I could see was the piece of white skin from where I hit it before, and I let it rip, and it comes flying out at me. And at this point I realized this fish is way bigger than I thought it was, and it's hard to tell. It hit me in the head a couple times. It was whooping my butt on the way up. I couldn't get my hands on it, but I knew it was a good shot. It went all the way through. And this fish was a lot bigger than I initially thought it was. I think it was 35 gutted. A big, beautiful black grouper. Always a treat.
Yeah, it was a long dive.
Woo! That escalated quickly. That was pretty wild. You saw that fish came beelined up at me and like mid-column, and I followed it. It went in the hole. Kevin had the breath, so I figured Kevin would take a drop, and I followed him behind him just in case. That was wild. And I had to chase this thing into the current. I didn't realize it was as big as it is. Realistically, what do you think, Gavin? I think he's high 30s, mid 30s?
Yeah, 37. My initial thought was 40, but he's thin.
Yeah.
Skinny here.
Still an incredible fish. The size of that. Smash the injector rod, but that's why we have these. These are expendable. You just unscrew that, put a new one in. Better to bend this than to break the pole spear, but that's why we use them. So cool. That was the first shot right there. I thought it was gonna hold, but I think I hit bone. Didn't go through. Second shot went all the way through. Very, very healthy fish. Not a bad. How is this real life? We are wrapping it up here. The boys are doing one more drift. The weather's starting to turn and we have quite the ride home, so we're gonna call it here shortly. It's been an amazing trip. But we are done on this end. We've got a long ride, a lot of unpacking, some fish to fillet. So I will see you back in Key West. Good morning. We got in last evening. Everybody was shot. Hosed the boat off just real quick and packed those fish on more ice. And went home, got some rest. But the work is not over. We've got a bunch of fish to fillet. We've got to clean this boat up. Maybe I'll film some of the filleting or do a time lapse or something. But I did want to try one of those snapper we caught deep drop. And I love catching new species. And I've never eaten one of those. So I'd love to check it off the list. So at very least, we'll fillet one of those and do a cook with it. But yeah, the party's not over. There's still a lot of work to be done. All right, gonna get started cutting fish. Later on, I'm going to do one of the winchman snapper in more detail. I'll probably just do this a time lapse because I've got a ton of fish to cut. But a pro tip I'm going to share that they don't teach in captain school: when you are cutting a lot of fish, you always cut the small fish first. Why? That way when some babes walk up, you've got a big fish to show them. If you cut all the big fish first, someone's going to walk up and be like, hey, what'd you guys catch? And you got a little tiny yellowtail to show them. They're like, but we had bigger ones, I swear. Cut the small fish first, big fish last. Trust me. But yeah, I'm going to put this up. We'll do a time lapse, and then like I said, later on we're going to cook up one of those winchmen, and I'll do it more in detail. But I've got a lot of fish to cut. Alright, we're going to fillet up this winchman snapper, from my understanding. First time I've ever caught one. Some people call them champagne snapper, but just a beautiful fish. When they come up alive, you probably can't see it now, but they had these beautiful blue markings, blue-green, like iridescent markings. And I'm excited to try it. I had the opportunity this morning to fillet a few of them. I got my bearings around them a bit. Pretty similar to most snapper. Something I did notice is the scales are actually fairly tough. They're not very big, but they're thick. Almost like the fish it reminded me of that I filleted in the past was queen snapper and Alfonzino, which both had bigger scales, but they were hard and like thick scales. Kind of hard to explain. They're small but thick. Something else I noticed is their backbone or spine, whatever you would like to call it, you can't just run flat down. It sticks up quite a bit. If I tried to run straight down, I kept hitting the tops of it, and I would miss a little bit of meat. So I run all the way through, top and bottom, just like that. There we are. Actually, a really beautiful fillet. Very white and delicate looking. Excited to try it. It almost has the raw texture. Obviously I haven't cooked one yet, but it has the raw texture of almost like a rosy, a black belly rosefish, which we've done on the channel in the past. A lot of the deep water fish are pretty similar, or can be pretty similar. There's not a lot of stuff that comes from the deep that I haven't enjoyed. They're pretty thick scales. Just like most snapper, they got a little bit of a pin bone that runs down. Well, most fish, not most snapper. A little bit of pin bones that runs right there. And there you are. Little bit, excuse me, of bloodline, not too much, but a beautiful fillet. I'm excited to try it. All right, let's give this Winchman snapper a try. So I'm actually in the office today, editing this video that you're watching currently, so this is the last clip I'll need to finish the editing process. I figured I'd have some lunch. Nothing fancy, just like I always do. Anytime I try a new fish, I do salt, pepper, avocado, or olive oil and just sear it in a cast iron. I don't like to doctor it up too much because I want to know what the fish actually tastes like. That way next time I get it, I know what to do with it and what it'll be good for. So this is our Winchman snapper. Salt, pepper, olive oil, seared. Looks great. You can see big white, very white flakes, or very big flakes actually for a snapper that size. Normally the flakes on a fish are determined by the size of the fish, but that's not always the case. That's just normally the case. But for a snapper that small, the flakes are pretty big. A little bit of crunchy edge. That is really, really good. Super white, clean meat. It's very similar to a black belly rosefish, which we've done in the past as another deep water species. This is pretty darn good. I thought it was going to be closer to a yellow eye snapper, but it's more like a rosy. That is fantastic. If I ever end up back in that area, I know I'm going to catch a boatload of these things. Wow. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but that is cooked perfectly. Still moist. Not overdone. Not underdone. Wow. Check it off the list. Winchman snapper. But that is all I have on this one. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you watching as always. It's still hard to believe that this is my life and I get the opportunity to do things like this. What a trip. I will remember this one for the rest of my life. And I've got the video to remember it. But if you got any questions, first hour of the videos, I answer all questions that come in. Sometimes I'm a little delayed, but I'll save the first hour of them, answer them all, and then I try to get to questions that trickle in after that. But it's extremely flattering how many of you guys watch the videos, but the amount of questions that come in, it does get very difficult to keep up with them. But I do my best. But yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate you. The videos will keep coming, and I will see you on the next one. Later.